Hi, I'm Jeanette. Welcome to A Perfect Touch. In my last video, I shared the making of the truly Victorian 1870 blouse waist, pattern TV 401. It has the most glorious sleeves. The high-low fall of the sleeve hem reminded me of the high-low hems of more recent fashion skirts. I imagined these two pieces in a history-bounding pairing and went in search of a skirt pattern. The perfect pattern is available through the Do It Better Yourself Club website, and it is a free, yes, that's what I said, a free pattern. The pattern is available in a downloadable format with layering to print your size. All instructions for printing are there for you to follow. I happily downloaded the free pattern and decided to print it without choosing a layer size or length or front cutout option, and that wasn't the best idea, as I had forgotten I was low on ink. But all was not lost. I simply chose my size on my crazily printed pages, and I followed that line legend on my computer and then highlighted it on the pattern. So please don't think that the following photos represent the actual pattern. The pattern is wonderful, but my attention to available ink is not. And here is my chosen size and options pattern, which covers a large part of my queen-size bed. I chose the long length since I'm wearing this for a wedding I'm attending, but I also chose the high front to show off my American Duchess Colette button boots. These boots are appropriate for historical impressions from 1890 into the 1920s, but I've worn them for multiple eras and modern wear. I can wear them for hours, walking and dancing, and never have a care. They are my favorite boots. When I purchased the fabric for the 1870s carriage gown project, I knew what I needed for the skirt and bodice. I expected that someday I would want to create a dinner or even ball gown bodice for the skirt. I needed extra fabric for the belt and reticule and all the trims for the skirt. I placed my fabric order with all those options in mind. And luckily, after cutting out my patterns and finalizing the trim options, I was going to have enough fabric for this Duchess skirt. Since this pattern is cut with the front on the fold, the fabric has to be folded with the selvages at the top and the bottom. For me, that meant cutting everything on the floor, as it was the only place where I had enough space for this huge pattern piece. With the interior of the skirt visible when worn because of the shorter front, I cut two of the fabric for both the outside and the inside of the skirt, and one piece of an unbleached muslin for opacity and structure. So I had to crawl around on the floor 3 times before all pieces were ready, and I had to banish the pup to the bedroom because she thinks this is playtime if I'm on the floor. Because of the position of the waist on the fabric, the instructions are very clear for you to handle the fabric delicately right after cutting. Go immediately to your sewing machine and stitch the waist to prevent that curve from distorting. I pinned the 3 layers together. Now I'm on the bedroom floor and the pup is in the kitchen, and everything is pressed immediately before pinning to eliminate all wrinkles caused by cutting and handling. To allow the fabric to naturally fall before sewing, I let the pinned layers hang on the dress form for several days, readjusting the pins at the hemline. It's finally time to sew. New project, new needle. I flatlined the muslin middle layer to the front piece by sewing at the waist and the back edges, but I left the hemline free and trimmed some of the fabric where it had stretched beyond the muslin inner layer. Then I sewed a French seam along the entire lower edge and understitched the seam to the inside layer. The next step would be to sew in a zipper and close the back seam. But I didn't have a zipper. I had 5 matching mother-of-pearl buttons, though, so I made a placket, and I sewed it to the left edge. I pinned the back seam closed for the outer layer and the inner layer separately, and I sewed the back of the skirt closed. With all seams pressed and the layers turned to their correct positions, the waist layers can then be basted closed and a waistband attached. I measured the fabric and a muslin lining and attached them both together to the outside edge of the skirt. I turned the raw edge of the waistband under 1/2 inch, folded it in half, and hand stitched it to the inner edge of the skirt, also turning in the ends 1/2 inch. Then the inner fabric is hand stitched to the skirt opening edge. I sewed buttonholes on the skirt back opening and waistband and placed the buttons on the placket and the waistband. And with a last good pressing, the Duchess high-low skirt is finished. And I think it really looks beautiful with the 1870 blouse waist. An excess piece of fabric neatly edged with the scallop pinking shears and some saved ribbon pieces becomes a pretty wrapping for a wedding gift. With the Colette button boots and ivory silk stockings, both from American Duchess, and jewelry by Lady Detal on Etsy, I'm now ready to attend the wedding, but it has necessarily become a virtual wedding. The skirt hem reflects the sleeve hem beautifully, and the skirt has such great movement. I can see that I will make this skirt again in the shorter option with a longer front and following the directions for a knit. Such versatility. This is the end of the skirt portion of this video, but if you care to stay, I'm going to create some special decorated cookies for the virtual wedding celebration. The inspiration is from Sweet Ams on YouTube and Facebook. Although I haven't made these cookies before, she always makes it look so easy, and I'm willing to give it a try. Thank you for being here. And I'm off to the wedding.